Yo, welcome to the show, everybody. One of the coolest things you could do to help us out here at the page, the band, and all of our live streams is to share the feed. Uh, it's more powerful than donations. It's almost as powerful as coming to a show. If you can't make it to a show, sharing our content is like the most powerful thing that you guys can do. Joining groups, music groups, podcast groups, lives, and streaming groups, sharing this to your pages, to your stories, and to your timelines is the most powerful and important thing you can do to help support the stream. A huge shout out to my yellow jackets and my supporters. You can become a yellow jacket. That's like a band subscriber. I tend to think of them like mini stockholders or investors in the band. People that subscribe, people that become yellow jackets, we tend to think of them as like shareholders of the band. So you too can become a Sepsis shareholder, whether it is through the yellow jackets or becoming a sponsor right here on the Facebook page. Shout out to all of my sponsors for understanding the mission and how important this is to us in helping us pursue and follow our dreams. Lastly, the other things you can do is head over to the website, free of charge, free of cost or burden. There's no pop-ups, there's no ads, there's no porn. There is absolutely no obstacles. Once you get there, it's a nice clean page. You can scroll all the way down and sign our guest book. We have over 33,000 visits to the page, and we're always trying to get more. So we appreciate those that take the opportunity to do that. Franco, how's it going? Yo, what up? I was telling Franco I really hope to see him at this year's Swarmy Fest. And speaking of Swarmy Fest, I want to jump right into it. Hey, what's up, digging it up? What's going on? Whoops, I done exited out of everything. Anyhow. So if this is the first time you guys are here, thank you so much for being here. My name is William Savant. I am one half of the guitar mechanism here at Sepsis Band. And I share the spotlight with the lovely and amazing Sriracha Hot Sauce. And of course, Zachy B. But he's a guitar player, right? Bass players are still guitar players. Don't look at me like that. If this is your first time, guys, interacting and showing up here on the stream, this is a chat. It's a live chat. You guys are welcome to talk with me. I do talk a lot. We do put the news and the information and websites that we're visiting. We put them behind me here on the screen. So everybody, well, they're not really behind me, but you get the point. We put them up on the screen so you guys can use your iPads, tablets, your cell phones and mobile devices to follow along, so you know I'm not making this shit up. And we chat here as musicians, music lovers, united on a mission to explore the truth about the music industry and how confusing that can be today, especially for independent and DIY musicians. We're on a mission to explore the truth about the music industry and the inside and behind the scenes of that each day, discovering top stories in music news and industry news. Also technology news, and we also cover some social media and some crazy stuff along the way. So buckle up everybody, and I hope you have your notebooks with you and your mobile devices ready to follow along because it's another episode. I know Hans has his notes together because he's so studious. Be like Hans and get studious and buckle up for another episode of William versus the World! All right. So I want to jump right into things today. Hey, Chad, what's going on? Chad's in the building. That's what I love to see, man. The swarm is in the building. Sean is in the building. Hans is in the hive. And of course, we got the homie Franco. Let's gotta get the music for Franco. Let's stop playing some fucking games in here. And speaking of November 2nd, Swarmy Fest, before we dive into that, I do want to say I appreciate everybody for buying tickets this week. Everybody that bought tickets this week to Swarmy Fest really understands the mission. Guys, it's 2024. Try to rock with me here, okay? Try to understand job security from a musician or an entertainment standpoint, okay? Before all of the lockdowns and all the crazy business in 2020 and 2021, right? It was really difficult for people to get back on stage, sports, live entertainment, people filling up rooms. It was really difficult, not just because of, economic and logistic obstacles, but because people were fucking emotional, man. Let's forget, people were terrified, people were emotional, people had mixed feelings. It was a difficult time for all of us to kind of reboot, re-energize, and get started. We need to rebuild our trust and confidence in everything, right? And some of us are still doing that. Some of us have never bounced back, but nonetheless, right? It was really difficult for bands and entertainment, and a lot of bands never made it. Remember all the bands from 2020 and 2021 and 22? A lot of those bands aren't around anymore. And a lot of it is because live music has been a challenge and obstacle returning to the world in 2021. So, yeah, guys, just to give you a panoramic view, returning to the world, pre-sale tickets now mean a lot more than they used to. Venues and talent buyers don't care as much as the physical people that enter the building. That's still a big thing to people that play guitar, right? If you're on stage, what matters to the bands and people on stage is when they're on stage and they're looking downstage, they're concerned, they're worried about, they're prioritizing the people downstage at the end of the stage that are our guests, that are the audience, the people that we're performing in front of. That's who the talent is usually focused on. The bartender, he's focused on drinkers. And the guy in the parking lot, I don't know, he's calling the wrecker. But what I'm trying to say is the world, like post-lockdowns and all of that, we had to kind of regain our trust and ability to do live entertainment at all. And those of us that could move forward, some of us were fragmented and we were getting back to new norms. And of course, with that, new technology. And with the new technology, more people buy tickets on the phone, more people buy digital tickets than ever. As you guys know, Swarmy Fest tickets are $20 pre-sale. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because the venues and the talent buyers now, if there's not a certain amount of pre-sale tickets for a lot of events, for a lot of concerts, if there's not enough pre-sale tickets going into the physical concert, they'll fucking cancel it. So this is why I say, it's so important. I don't think our friends, I don't think our fans know how important it is. First of all, you're going to save $5, and I think that that's good. But you'll save $5, but it's not just about that. You're really supporting not just us as a band, but you're supporting the future of Swarmy Fest. You are supporting the future of our brand and the bands that we have on our card. You are supporting the future relationship and opportunity if we're ever going to be able to do it again. So I love all of you guys that are like, yo, I'm going to buy a ticket through the door. Trust me, I love y'all. I know how it is. I'm old-fashioned just like you. I love the kind of money that jingles and folds. I'm with you. But if you have the ability to purchase pre-sale tickets from your favorite band for Swarmy Fest or for the next show you plan on going to, if it is a local band and it's a band in your neighborhood or a band you really support, even big bands, you guys don't understand how powerful and important the pre-sale ticket is, because the venue themselves don't have an investment as much as the artists do as physical bodies in the door. The artists are always going to be prioritized in the physical guests, whether it's 10 or 500 people in the audience. We're going to be playing our asses off, right? But post-pandemic, post-lockdowns, the pre-sale ticket and the way that fans purchase tickets online, the venues and the talent buyers are expecting lots of pre-sale tickets before the concert even happens. And that's our instant gratification, wanting to, the venues having technology where they can count the amount of guests, whether they come or not. So I know it's a tough time for live music, but I'm trying to get you guys to understand that there's nothing wrong with them. They're not bad people. But talent buyers and venues don't give a shit anymore who's physically in the building beyond selling liquor. They'd rather not open up the parking lot and go through the trouble. Please understand how much you're helping us by opting in on the pre-sale ticket and purchasing a ticket before November 2nd. Thank you to everybody who jumped in and purchased a ticket for Swarmy Fest before November 2nd, because it really boosts the chances of us doing this again, and it helps out all the bands and the promotion companies that have come together with me and partnered up to make this happen. So I really want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for purchasing tickets. Those of you that have so far, thank you so much. And this week was pretty good. At the beginning of the week, as promised, I have a list here that we've been keeping. We told everybody at the beginning of the week, if you guys purchased your Swarmy Fest ticket between last Saturday and tomorrow, there's 1 day left, you guys. Still, if you purchased a Swarmy Fest ticket between now and before we get on stage tomorrow, because we got a show tomorrow in Worcester, we'll go over that in a second. If you guys can purchase a Swarmy Fest ticket between now and before we get on stage tomorrow, then you can still get that T-shirt. So another 24 hours or so. Let's just run it for another 20 hours. We'll say until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Anybody that buys a Swarmy Fest ticket will get a free WST Sepsis T-shirt. It's the black T-shirt with the big white sepsis star on it, with the sepsis words on it. It's not a SE23, but it's like an SE23 with the words on it. So if you buy a Swarmy Fest ticket and you get your pre-sale ticket within the next 24 hours, me and Melissa will send you a shirt. Okay? Now, so here's the next part. Courtesy of my good friend. I want to bring it up so everybody can see. Now look, everybody, Wild Dogs Radio. Now this is going to go for the rest of the weekend. I want y'all to listen up. For the rest of the weekend. So if you buy a Swarmy Fest ticket between now and 7 o'clock tomorrow, we will send you the White Star T-shirt. And in addition, running for the rest of the weekend, the next 2 people that buy Swarmy Fest tickets, listen up. The next 2 people that buy Swarmy Fest tickets, courtesy of Dangerous Doug and Wild Dogs Radio. I got the call this morning. Dangerous Doug hit me up. He said, yo, we got to do some free tickets. I said, for real? He said, for real. I said, we're doing it today? He said, today. I said, Doug. He said, what? He said, I'm dangerous. I said, I get it. He said, I'm buying a ticket. I can't. Now, of course, he's across country. He goes, this is fucking crazy. I want to go to Swarmy Fest. How do I get involved? I said, Doug, what are you doing with the radio show? He said, you know Wild Dogs Radio, you know we like to do cool shit, and you know we rock with sepsis hardcore. Can Wild Dog Radio sponsor some free tickets. I said, of course you guys can. You guys know I always fuck with y'all anyways. So on behalf of Wild Dog Radio and Dangerous Doug, from now until Monday morning, the next 2 people to buy a single ticket to Swarmy Fest will get an additional ticket courtesy of Wild Dog Radio. That's right. So maybe you were just going to get 1 ticket and you were like, well, you know what? I'm going to have to wait up and save for my friend. Or maybe you had a friend you wanted to go and they didn't know if they wanted to go. They didn't know if it was a value. Well, now, if you buy a ticket for the rest of the weekend, we'll send you another ticket courtesy of Dangerous Doug and Wild Dog Radio on behalf of Sepsis and all the sponsors at Swarmy Fest. An additional ticket for you, a guest, a girlfriend, your mom, or anybody that wants to go. So that's for the rest of the weekend. For the next 24 hours, anybody that buys a pre-sale Swarmy Fest ticket, send us a screenshot to the band page, one to me, to Melissa, to Zach, or to Hot Sauce, or to one of us. Make sure that we get a screenshot of you purchasing a single ticket, and we will send you the White Star t-shirt. And if you purchase a single ticket between now and the rest of the weekend until Monday morning when I wake up, it's all over. I forgot all about it. On behalf of Wild Dog Radio and the homeboy Doug, we're giving away an extra ticket for anybody that buys a single ticket. Send us a screenshot and we'll get that out to you. Thank you so much to Doug and all the sponsors on Swarmy Fest for helping out. All right. Let me see what you guys are doing in the chat. See what's going on. Let's be like Hans. Let's be like Hans. Hans, happy 2 birthdays ago, he finally got his Immaculate Connection gaming t-shirt that I promised him from like 4 birthdays ago. I think he was still 20. But he finally got it. Yeah, it is a very special t-shirt. It really is. Franco said, oh shit, Franco said, I will be buying 2 tickets this weekend, regardless of availability. Wait a minute. I hope you do. I hope you do, Franco, because if anything, I want to give you the damn t-shirt. That way, even if you don't, somebody's got to get these t-shirts. They're awfully nice. No, so he says, I'm definitely buying 2 tickets this weekend, regardless of my availability. We will fucking cry if you don't go. We'll be devastated. He says, I will likely be okay to go. But if I can't, I want Sepsis, New Hampshire's artists, and the Muse community to feel supported when my thing happens. Hey, that's real. I hope the love returns. I can guarantee you when your time comes around that we will be there to share the spotlight on you, my brother. I hope you give me many opportunities during our adventure together to support what you got going on. Please continue to share in our groups. Please, guys, don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Please share your originality, your content. I don't care if you're a magician. I don't care if you play the accordion or you beatbox or you rap, if you do freestyles, if you're a pole dancer, if you are a stripper, if you are a streamer, if you are a gamer, if you are cool and you're in the school and you know how to treat other people the way that you'd like to be treated, then you're welcome around this motherfucker. You are welcome here. This is your home. This is the hive. This is the swarm. You are good to go. There's no judgment. There's no third parties. There's no fine print. Truly, no inside circles from outside circles. There's no metal. There's no rock. There's no rap. There's no black. There's no white. There's no fat. There's no little. There's no big. We all just people here. We're all just one thing. One thing made up of many things. Hans, what do you talk about limited edition? We should have put his name on the back of it. We should have put ICG Pudding Pants. Ladies and gentlemen, ICG Pudding Pants. All right, let's get to some music news, everybody. Okay, So, anti-porn mosh calls. Oh, this anti-porn mosh call out sure is something. I guess this is a rock and roll band that had an anti-porno mosh pit. Look at this group of people. Do you really think that all those young men in there ignore pornography? I'm just wondering. Look at all those people. Do you really think all these people, once you remove them from this big group, do you think they're all anti-porn? Do you think they're anti-porn when they're alone? That's funny. So the article says there have been some pretty legendary mosh calls over the year. I mean, who can forget what the fuck's up Denny's? I mean, but everybody knows about that one. Everybody does that, you know? Or the time Kubla Khan, Texas, urged concert goers to turn someone into guacamole or applesauce. Classic, iconic, easily quotable. While scrolling through TikTok, I found one that might raise some eyebrows or at least getting terminally online contingent of our commenters talking. I guess so. Just before launching into an admittedly pretty heavy breakdown, Texas-based Christian metalcore act Bloodlines called on the crowd to throw down in the pit for Jesus. And they did that by hitting back against pornography. Okay. Now let's be clear. The folks at Metal Sucks don't begrudge your religious beliefs. Pray however you want, nor do we want anyone for their internet search histories and their online viewing proclivities. You do you. I just think it's weird, says the author, to bring up porn in a public venue like that because you know for some of the people there, they were instantly, albeit inadvertently, thinking of boobs, butts, and boners. And that's funny in this context. The author says, I digress. However, you want to get your fans to start jerking around, pulling each other this way and that way, is to set a rhythm to the noises you're making. That's your prerogative. We're all just here for some satisfaction. What do you guys think of that? That's kind of silly, right? You guys are like, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of had the same reaction you guys did. Hey, it's Friday. What do you guys expect? Here's another one. Do you guys like Ronnie Radke? What do you guys think of him? So, anyways, I did want to say, as I get my Capri Sun here, William Savant, Content King. Ronnie Radke. Do you guys like this? What about you, Melissa? Do you like Ronnie Radke? Do you know who he is? You really don't? You don't know who he is? Well, he doesn't know who you are. So, how about the singer Andy Cyzak? Do you know who that is? Okay, you don't know nothing. You don't know no metal stuff. Do you know this is? I mean, this isn't like metal. It's like metal, like we're metal. It's like metal-ish, but like So Ronnie Radke is from. Fuck band is he from? You know what I'm talking about? The boys with the laptops. Fallen in Reversed. Remember? You're not even listening. So Ronnie Radke reignites feud with Monument's Andy Cyzak, dropping serious allegations. Huh. So anyways, this Monuments guy is a great screamer. That's the only thing I know about him. He's got a great vocal fry. That's the only thing I know about him. But isn't Ronnie's always mad at somebody, and people are always mad at him for something? Let's see what it's about. Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radke has taken another jab at the Monuments singer Andy Cyzak. That's him. Okay. The frontman took to Twitter this time to share some allegations about Cyzak. That's him. Okay. So he's taken another jab at Andy Cyzak. Ronnie Radke says, quote, "This message is for Andy Cyzak. Remember when you said you weren't interested in starting a war? However, this is a very serious accusation and goes well beyond acting like an asshole. Do you remember that?" The rocker read Cyzak earlier statement. "Remember when you said that a bunch of people are saying that I did something that hasn't been true, and you go on to call me the Bill Cosby of the music scene. Whatever, pretty much implying that I'm a drug addict and a serial sex offender. Do you remember that?" he goes on to say. And then he's quoted here in saying, "Well, Andy, it's caught up to you," he continued. "What if I tell you that I know, in fact, that you effed a minor?" Like, what are these guys talking about? Like, what is this? First of all, this isn't a jab. I thought they said this was a jab. I didn't even know they were going to say that. So, look, that's not a jab. It's a wonder why these guys are always suing each other. And this is all I got to say. This is how it works in prison. If you don't have any paperwork, if there hasn't been any crimes committed, if there isn't some sort of a ledger filed with major authorities and an investigation going on, some sort of charges that are ongoing, open cases, or in fact in a conviction, you just don't make accusations like that. But that's more from the theatrics of Ronnie Radke and our friend Andy Cyzak, who's got a great screamer. Hopefully he didn't pop no kids. I hope not. It's always the good ones, huh, Melissa? Oh, it's like this. It's like the celebrities. They get success. They get to a certain level of success. It's almost natural. There's going to be like some sex story. You notice that? It's the ultimate weapon in music in Hollywood. Everybody reaches a certain amount of success, and then something naughty about sex comes out about them. That's all I'm saying. You don't notice that? It's just fucking... I don't know. Even when you think the biggest corporations and the biggest religions and the biggest celebrities and the biggest kings and the biggest politicians, they get so big, and then you find out they're popping kids on an island, and you're like, oh, what the hell? I'm telling you, every one of them, whether true or false, it's like a point in these guys and girls being wildly successful until there is a naked scandal. And it does make me curious because, like, the consumers react mostly to the naked stuff. Do you notice that? They're wildly responsive to it. Interesting. It's like those guys moshing for porn. Like, just turn it off. Like, you do realize pornography is for adult minds that can process it in a healthy way. If you're an adult and you're watching pornography and you don't have the kind of brain that can process pornography and you can't absorb these images in a way that's healthy for you day to day, that you just turn it off. I get fucked up. I get uncomfortable when people that can't process pornography, so they want other people to turn off porn. That's different. That's like you not liking asparagus, so you want other people to stop eating it. Or like being an alcoholic, right? It's like somebody being an alcoholic and being like, alcohol and cigarettes affect me negatively, so I want everyone else to stop smoking. Like, no. Nope. Because there are some adults that can handle the activity of smoking without going broke or without, they can make it to work in the morning after having a couple of drinks. There are some people that watch horror movies and piss the bed because they don't have the brain for it. There are some people that can't hold their liquor. They don't have the brain. They don't have the chemistry for it. There are some people who cannot handle pornography because they don't have the chemistry for it. They don't have the brain for it. They can't process the images in a healthy way. And for those people, I say, turn it off. But for the people that can't process pornography and alcohol and other privileges that other adults seem to process in a healthy way, people who can't process these things shouldn't have the say or an opinion over people that can. That's my opinion. You don't have to listen to me. And you don't have to watch pornography. Let's see what Eric Clapton's talking about. Eric Clapton calls the Rock Hall a frat boy club, not the place for rebels. Clapton also names the guitar legend who is too anonymous for the organization. Okay. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has once again come under fire, this time by three-time inductee Eric Clapton. Three-time inductee Eric Clapton, who described the organization as a frat boys club. Clapton makes the comment in a new interview with the Real Music Observer, where he touches on the exclusion of important artists like American blues legend J.J. Cale from the Rock Hall. Looking back on his own inductions, Clapton says via Ultimate Guitar, quote, "I came to the thing, whatever it is, I think of it as a frat boys club that happened to lure me in." He goes on to say, "I think the fact that they had Elmet Ertgun, former Atlantic Records president and chairman of Rock Hall, was the ticket for me. He was doing it for the people like Ruth Brown and the Drifters, all those early Atlantic Records artists that were being forgotten. And then it just kind of started to snowball," Clapton continues, noting that he was doubtful about the whole thing at first. Quote, "And I was very suspicious," Clapton says. "Obviously, the Rolling Stone magazine was involved. My dear friend Robbie Robertson was also a part of the ticket. I thought, well, he was the one that persuaded me to do it." The guitarist also reflects on his Rock Hall performance with bandmates Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker as Cream, saying, quote, "I remember the day we rehearsed for the show because we were going to play a song after we'd been inducted, and then something happened. People were there. The techs in the room, they had never seen us play." That's funny. That is really funny. We haven't seen one another for 20 years, and we clicked immediately into the group that we always had, and it was magic. And I thought, okay, if this is what we're doing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then let's go with it. Well, he's been inducted 3 times, the first and only musician to do so. Clapton makes it clear that he isn't at all happy with some of the organization's decisions. Quote, the fact that someone like JJ has never been suggested is proof of that the thing is, or proof of what it isn't. It's not like he'll ever come up. It's not their thing. I don't know what their thing is, but he's too anonymous for those guys. Prompted to how Bad Company frontman Paul Rodgers, too, has not been inducted, the musician previously admitted to turning down the Rock Hall a couple times. Clapton explains he's a real rebel. It's not a place for rebels. It's establishment stuff. So yeah, that's Eric Clapton on the Rock Hall of Fame. That's fucking Clapton saying that. See, like, if I say that, people go, oh, Will, you're fucking bitter, you know? Like, if I report on that, people go, oh, no, I'm reporting on that because, of course, I'm just a big music industry grump. But the reason why I'm showing you this, because, look, Eric Clapton agrees with people like me. Look, the Rock Hall is a fucking joke, and Eric Clapton says so, too. So, you know what I'm saying? When you see all those Rock Hall of Fames and all that, but it's bullshit. And who says so? Eric Clapton. That's who. So don't argue with me. Argue with Eric Clapton. And get yourself a Capri Sun. These things are good. They're probably radioactive. Do you guys remember Ecto Cooler? You don't know about that, do you? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Ecto Cooler. Nobody had a generation like mine. Yeah, you guys are laughing because you guys know. Izzy Gershot. Izzy Giannarshot? I don't know, brother. I don't know what that means. Nero Golf Pena. I don't know what that means, player. I'm not sure. That must be a different language. Shot Jigga Jigga Jet Lag Mary Swing Daga Aga Licka. I don't know what that means, player. But I do appreciate you being here. You guys can't see, but I'm talking with people on Facebook, and he just said, Jet Shot Jet Lag Mary Swing a Swing a Licka Alagiga. And he's really saying that. And then Sean says, shields went down, boop, boop, boop. It's all going to make sense one day. Franco says, I agree with all that. Just don't force it in front of my kids. You're an adult. It's your choices. I'm with you there, bro. Yeah, I think if there's any fine print about adult spaces in pornography, is that there probably, most definitely, should be, a limit to where children can be accessing online features. I've been saying that for years, that there should be some sort of, there should probably be some sort of ID process for kids getting on social media, right? Because it's pornography on social media. That's the number one place where minors can find pornography. It's not on porn sites. It's on social media. The kids see the adults playing on social media with their noses in the screens all day. And let's face it, children want to do what they think the adults are doing, okay? So children have an illusion that we give them that there is a leveling system where they have to level up through life to unlock the biological birthright features of their lives. Do you see what I just said? We give children an image that there is a game with levels, that when they go through the levels, they unlock privileges and products and birthrights. Like, for instance, a driver's license. Okay? Or birthrights, like, I don't know, falling in love with somebody. You see what I just said? So there's two different things happening there. You have a man-made kind of right, which is like buying a car and you need a ledger and a license to do that and a customer service number. And then, so that's going through life. You go through life and there's levels, right? 1, it goes into 2 and 2 goes into 3. But what is 1 and 2 and 3? It's that, we measure that by how many times the earth goes around the sun, and we look at space and we call that 1, and then we call that 2, and then at some point we say you're 14 and now you're 16, and because you're 16, whatever the fuck that means, now your brain has developed to the point biologically where you can drive this fucking machine that can kill and crush people, right? But it's like, we all know that brains develop at different rates, even not corresponding to age. There are some 4-year-olds that can do some certain kind of content. There are teenagers that can process GTA and Halo, and there are other children that can't handle adult concepts. There are other children that at 17 and 18 and 21, they're not really fit to be parents, right? But there are other children at 17 or 18 or 19 who seem to do well with that. So we can't just look and say, oh, when you're 16, now you're ready to shoot guns, or when you're 4, now you can do horror movies. Brains, as far as human beings go, generally don't finish developing until the late 20s, right? Mid to late to 20s and sometimes to early 30s, right? So in this sense, what we're talking about is man-made levels where we pretend that there's a thing called 16, and then we pretend that there's a thing called a driver's license on a man-made manufactured street, on a man-made manufactured path, and a man-made manufactured product, and we drive around and we get to where we're going in our destination. But the destination of life isn't really like that. Sure, there's an image that throughout life, as you become 14 and 15 and 16, us as parents, we teach our kids early that they'll be unlocking birthrights as they go, and that's just not true. Because we all develop, and we all are ready for different things at different times. There you go. We are all a work in progress. We all need different things. So I'm with that. I think, like driver's licenses, I think we need something to separate online activities in terms of right now. And for the last 30 years, children can spend time doing adult activities in the same places privately with adults. And I think that is the big problem with the internet. From Xbox Live to Facebook to Instagram, Instagram knows your daughter more than you do. And that's because the laws and legislations haven't been able to keep up with the accelerating rate of technology. Frankly, the technology is faster than there ever will be lawyers being born. There'll be 10 more apps that are being created before there will be lawyers that will be born to argue about it in 25 years. Okay, so the issue is that we have a play space, we have virtual spaces where developing brains and children are spending time, and they're supervised by adults, not their parents, supervised by adults, developers, app creators, and also the consumers and the adults that are spending adult time and doing adult activities. They're doing them online and sharing adult space with individuals that are not adults. There should really be a social media for younger people. But the only issue is who is the limited amount of adults who are going to be responsible for all of these kids? You see? Because now we're back to now we're back to trusting a limited amount of adults to be supervising a lot of kids. And that, is that even possible? So what we have now is we have an internet where on social media, there's a lot of adult activities, adult talk, adult topics, and and a lot of the activities to participate. You need an adult developed brain, to navigate, intellectually through some of this stuff. And let's face it, like children, young minds today are excessively compulsive in terms of technology. So the children see, the teenagers see, no matter what you tell them. You could tell them baseballs and bats and go ride horses. But what the kids are seeing, what young adults are seeing, is their parents and the young adults, and of course even their mentors and the people that they look up to and their heroes and the other people that they see online. Everybody's nose is buried in their phones. Everybody's nose is buried in the algorithm. Everybody's nose is buried in the follower. So when kids look at their parents, when they look at their heroes, when they look at their mentors, the parents go, get your nose out of that phone and find something to do and go be active. But what the kids are seeing is the adults doing something in the physical world differently than what they're being asked to do. When we're saying, don't be worried about driving, don't be worried about sex, don't be worried about your phone, and don't be worried about what's on the internet, that's what adults are worried about. And when you live in a reality where you as a child have been given the illusion from your parents that in order to unlock all of these privileges, all these manufactured privileges, and the privileges of your actual natural birthright, that illusion goes, you know what? I want to do what the adults are doing, because if I do what the adults are doing, I'm going to be able to unlock the privileges of, I'm going to unlock the manufactured privileges of my adulthood, and by doing what adults do and mimicking and sounding like an adult and getting educated about being an adult as quickly as possible, as soon as I can fake people around me, as soon as I can act like adult and get people to go along with it, then maybe I will be able to unlock the manufactured features and the features of my birthright that my mother and father have been lying about. I'm a fucking expert on it. I'm trying to tell y'all something, and I'm not an expert because I'm a parent. I'm an expert because I grew up in boys' homes, children's homes, group homes, institutions, and I've been around 1,000 kids my entire life. Every room I've ever been in, I've been in rooms with hundreds of kids, thousands of kids on the campus, everywhere, and I've watched a million broken homes and busted up people, and I've been in a bunch of seminars and clinics and a bunch of therapeutic and clinical environments, and I've been doing it my whole life. So that's, we can tell our children to go do this and to go do that. It's a good idea to do this, but they're watching you. They're watching you smoke. They're watching you drink. They're watching you fuck. They're listening to what you're saying, and then they're watching what you're doing. So it doesn't matter what type of output you have for them. They have this. And you have already taught them that this is more trustworthy than your parenting ever will be. Because when you go get answers, you go like this. When you want to figure out how to parent, you go like this. Because you don't have the answers for your children. Google does. I'll leave you with that tonight. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you on Monday morning. Y'all be cool, man. I'll see you later on another episode of William versus the World. Come and hang out with us tomorrow night in Worcester at Raven for Murder Monday.